You all submitted questions to Muslim, and us Shias are going to answer them.
Okay, let's see what Muslim viewers have to say about Shia Muslims and Shia Islam.
All right. Why do you think some people say Shias aren't Muslims? Because we're not. No, I'm kidding. Misinformation, just being scared, I think, of someone different.
Basically, I think we as a group, we get alienated because we are the followers of Imam Mahdi, like literally have it on my sleeve. Like, we love Imam Mahdi alayhi salam, we love the family of the Prophet, but that doesn't mean they're not mutually exclusive. Like, that doesn't mean we don't love the Prophet or we don't love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
The discrimination comes from a place of either ignorance or fear, or like people capitalizing on that fear.
I think it starts from your upbringing. It just starts from, what your parents know or what your community knows.
People not being educated about what Shia Muslims are and hearing a lot of like misconceptions and myths and all that stuff. I know my mom told me that when she was little, that in Pakistan, some people used to say that like Shias eat children, or that like Shia Muslims or abduct children during the month of Muharram. And so then that's going to, in a sense, build a fear of Shia Muslims in the long run.
If you're taught that Shia Muslims are not Muslims, then you're going to kind of grow with that mentality until you break out of that.
At the end of the day, we are not supposed to judge anyone regardless of what we know and what we don't know about them.
But I also think that it's slowly getting better with news outlets like Muslim. Even like from when I was a kid, something that I always refer back to is like when we first start school, we're always taught that like our differences are what make us really great. Like that's the first thing that you're taught in schools. I think it's okay to acknowledge that there are differences. It's detrimental to say we're all the same. Like it's okay to say that we aren't, and that's okay. We will all still get along and like, be in a community together in a way that's impactful and meaningful to us.
You don't say Happy New Year. Yeah, we don't say Happy New Year, not at all.
Yeah, because it's not a happy start to the year in Islamic calendar.
You don't say Happy New Year because we're not happy. It's a sad time for us.
Well, I say Happy New Year on January 1st, like most people do. Yeah, we don't say Happy New Year during the month of Muharram. That's when we, as Shia Muslims, commemorate the tragedy of Karbala, where the grandson of the Prophet was killed. So this is a month of mourning and sadness and grief for us. So we don't think of it as a happy celebration, which is why we don't say Happy New Year in the month of Muharram.
Are tattoos actually halal for Shia Muslims? Yeah, it depends on the person, depends on what you do. So like, if someone wants to have a tattoo, they can have a tattoo.
Yeah, got one right here. Almost every Shia got at least some ink on them, so definitely halal for us.
No, tattoos are completely fine. You can go and research what our sheikhs have said about tattoos and why we deem it as okay. Just because it's halal doesn't mean it's wajib. Just keep that in mind. It's up to your choice.
I believe a fatwa from Ayatollah Sistani said that they aren't technically like haram, but they're not halal either.
You're not gonna find every other Shia tatted. Like they're not gonna have tattoos like that. But it's every now and then you'll find someone, and it's not a cultural norm for Shias to have tattoos. And in fact, there's a lot of cultures look down upon tattoos, even though it may be considered halal by their the person that they look for rulings for. So even though it's halal, for some people, their parents may hate it. So it is what it is.
So we do have guidelines on tattoos. You can't get anything that's Quranic, of course. Why would you do that? When you are in a state of impurity, you don't want something so pure on you. The Prophet's names, the Ahlul Bayt's names, any holy name.
The main thing is you have to get something that's important. Don't get something of like some haram image on your arm. Like that is, in my opinion, haram. But I'm not any scholar or anything like that.
And if you are not Shia, this is not a reason for you to become a Shia for you to get tattoos. So just keep that in mind, okay?
What is Eid al-Qadir and why is it celebrated? So Eid al-Qadir is the day that Prophet Muhammad appointed Imam Ali as his successor.
Ghadir is the place in which it took place. So Ghadir Khum is the place where Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam called everyone back from his last pilgrimage, and everyone was going every which way, from Yemen to Iraq, to Iran, and all these different places After that, pilgrimage, called him back, said, make a stage. And so he made a stage with all the different camels, little things that they have, but they ride them, I don't know what they're called. Saddles? Yeah. So, they made a stage, and on that stage, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam announced the successorship of Imam Ali, Man kuntu mawla, fahaza aliyan mawla. So
it's a good day for Shias. It's a day of celebration.
Is going to ziyarats equivalent to Hajj? Okay, so this is another common misconception. Hajj is wajib. It's an obligation on every Muslim to go to Hajj at least once. Ziyarat, on the other hand, if you don't go in your entire life, it's okay. Shias want to go because we just have that longing to be near the Imams, to be near the Prophet, the Prophet's family. But Hajj is something that's deemed obligatory upon us, so we definitely have to complete that wajibat first.
Shia Muslims are obviously, it's an obligation for us to go to Hajj as well, but ziyarat holds immense blessing because you're going to the burial place of the family of the Prophet. These are people who are so instrumental to our religion. So visiting these places is so spiritual for us, and it's a reminder of these values that we've talked about before, like justice and love and compassion. Ziyarat is so meaningful because it makes us remember, and it's a refresh as to who the family of the Prophet is, what they believed in, and how we can implement it into our everyday life.
Very interesting. I've been to Hajj, and one of my friends who I went to Hajj with said something very, very, very interesting. He said, we go to Hajj to be tested. Because if anybody's been to Hajj, it's pretty tough. And we go to Ziyarat to be loved. So that's the difference.
So going on Ziyarat, actually there's this one day called Arba'een, which is the 30th day after the 10th day of Muharram. It's actually one of the, or if not the largest gathering in the world. There's around 20 to 40 million people who go each year. And they come from all different backgrounds, all different walks of life, all different religions too, because they are so inspired by Imam Hussein's legacy, his fight for social justice. So it's a really beautiful thing. I recommend that everyone go at least once.
Do you guys have a different adhan? Okay, yes and no. So in our adhan, there's a little bit difference. So we say, Ashhadu anna Aliyan waliullah, right? So Ali is the wali of Allah. Technically, it's actually not obligatory to say Aliyun waliullah in our adhan, but it's something that we do because we want to recognize the wali, the guardian of Allah.
We just say the adhan, and just like our brothers and sisters in other sects, there's some that's added that's not part of adhan, but you just add it for goodwill. That's basically what it is.
It says, do you hate Sunnis? Yeah, actually, no, I'm kidding. No, I don't hate Sunnis. What kind of question is this? It's weird you would even ask that.
If I hated Sunnis, I'd hate a lot of my family, so I don't think that's really a thing. I love them just as much as I love my Shia family members.
Do you hate Sunnis? Do you hate Shias? That's such a weird question to ask. Okay.
No, no, I don't, or we don't. I think that's another misconception. If they've done something to me and they wrong me, then I still won't hate them. I'll probably give them the benefit of the doubt, but still.
Beyond Sunni, Shia, this could be the Sufi in me. I don't believe in associating religion and Allah with hate. So I'm not going to hate anyone who is my brother in faith or my brother in humanity.
Majority of my Muslim friends are Sunnis. Between us, we don't even use Sunni and Shia. We actually we're all Muslim. At the end of the day, when there's food on the table, we are all hungry and we're all gonna eat, so.
Explain the Imam Mahdi concept. All right, this is a good one. So Imam Mahdi, alayhi salam, so he is the 12th and final Imam. He is in hiding right now.
As we had our Imams descend, and our Imams constantly kept getting martyred, it became evident that we humans weren't appreciating this guiding light the way that God would hope us to. And our last Imam is hidden because there is a time that will come, and this is the akhirah. That is the day that we will know true justice in this world.
He's gonna come back with Prophet Jesus, Prophet Isa, and they're gonna be, setting everything straight. So this is when, all the bad versus all the good, this is when that's gonna happen. Imam Mahdi is that person. And so this is who we believe in that's gonna come back in the end of times.
the one thing that a lot of Muslims have in common is the fact that we believe in Imam Mahdi coming back as a Messiah to make the world better. And in Shia Islam, compared to mainstream Sunni Islam, is we believe that Imam Mahdi was already born, and that right now he's just in Allah is just protecting him and going to bring him back closer to the Day of Judgment.
And there's a couple of people that we believe are still alive. We believe Prophet Isa is still alive, Jesus. We believe that Hazrat Khizr is still alive. This concept of being alive or being preserved by Allah is not something that's new. Whatever Allah wills can happen. So it's not something that's deemed like, oh, far-fetched. Shias are crazy for believing this. Shias are crazy for believing that. Like it's in the history books, or at least in our history books.
Whatever the story may be, at the end of the time, we can all agree that there is a savior. There is somebody who is going to come and bring justice to this world.
When people give you hate, how do you take it? I wish love brings them happiness. I will be like, if you're not being respectful, that is problematic.
When people give you hate, how do you take it? Punch them in the face?
Me personally, I've been told I'm going to hell. I was like, see you there, buddy. I was 13, come on, cut me some slack.
I get upset. At first I get upset. It hurts because I don't really understand why I'm being hated for. But at the end of the day, I think now it's kind of just become so nonchalant. We already have to face Islamophobia on a regular basis. Facing anti-Shiism and anti-Shiism behavior is not really any different. And now it's just you just take it. You try and push it past and try and continue on with your day, because unfortunately that's what we have to live in. That's the world we have to live in right now.
My answer to this question definitely changed as I got a little bit older, because when I was little, literally after 9/11 happened, everybody was like, oh, you're a terrorist this, terrorist that, you blew up the Twin Towers, and that was just, I kind of became numb to it, and I didn't really have the confidence to speak back or be like, hey, I'm not a terrorist, or like, hey, my uncle didn't bomb the Twin Towers, like, dumb stuff that kids say when you're young. But definitely now, me being at the age that I am and knowing, alhamdulillah, the knowledge that I know and doing the research that I've done, not that I'm any scholar or anything, I'm just a regular guy. But nowadays, when someone attacks you with hate, it's just better to more so have a conversation with them, see where that hate is coming from. It may be coming from a misconception, it may be coming from something that somebody else told them. So maybe, let's talk about that, let's try to get to that, and then inshallah become better human beings after that conversation.
Oh, what is your favorite part about being Shia Muslim? I think that for me, it's how crazy it is that the community is so small and how passionate we all are about being Shia. You'll meet a Shia and they'll make it really evidently known that they are Shia, like in the first 5 minutes that you meet them, because that's how proud they are of it.
It's really easy to connect with another person that's Shia, and you get so excited when you see them, because you don't really see too many Shias.
Being a Shia is like, I hate this phrase, but it's like being a minority of a minority of a minority of a minority. I don't see it like that. It's actually just, I'm a part of a small community that's, misunderstood, but the people who are around me, they get me, and I don't have to kind of, hide the way I am or, be any less Shia around them. So, and that's more recent, the more you grow into being Shia, the more you love it.
My favorite part is wearing the Shia drip. You know what I'm saying? Representing Imam Ali with the Zulfiqar. Especially as a Shia Muslim, I believe that I have to remember the Prophet's family in everything that I do.
For that one reason, to keep Imam Hussein's message alive and keep his legacy alive. I think that's my favorite part about being Shia Muslim.
That's a good question. Tattoos? The really good thing about being a Shia Muslim is the history and the culture and the beautiful stories you have to share, the beautiful little upbringings and traditions that you have. I think that's what makes it very special. And tattoos again.
The empathy that it teaches me, being comfortable in your emotional vulnerability is what makes everyone soft, and we kind of need more softness in this world. So I just do my best to be soft-hearted.